Hello everybody, Ron aka Daddy Geek here with another Disney Infinity 2.0 toy box tutorial, and in this video we are going to cover sidekicks. That's right, sidekicks. Um, and this is part two, pardon the bad jokes, I can't help myself. This is part two of a three-part series dealing with NPCs. The first video covered townspeople. This one's covering sidekicks, and even Thor has a smirk. And in the third one, we're going to cover enemies. And without further ado, let's get started. Over here in this little bunker, we have a couple sidekicks. And sidekicks are similar to townspeople in that they can accept logic, they can follow you. But the difference is you can actually arm them. They will fight for you. And there's a few other interactions that you can do with sidekicks, and we're going to go over that in a second. The way you unlock sidekicks is you have to play through either the, well, in this case, with the starter pack for the Avengers. It comes with a toy box game called Escape from Kiln, and in that game, as you play through it, you will unlock more and more sidekicks. So, and with sidekicks, you'll find them under their own special page in your editor, under sidekicks. But also, one thing you need to know about Sidekick is they all have different stats. As you can see, this guy walking by me, he has 3 stats, and he has a 5-2-2. Where if we turn around to this guy here, Mr. Baldy, he's got 4-2-3. And if we come over here to her, she's got a 4-3-2. So as you can see, all the Sidekicks have different stats. So you might want to throw in several into your toy box if you're having Sidekicks, and let the players choose which ones they want. For this example, we're going to take this little guy here, and we're going to get out of here. And just like townspeople, they are pretty good at keeping up with you and following you around. But if their path gets blocked, like the door blocked his path, they will teleport to you. So here we go. We got our little sidekick. He's with us now. He'll follow us wherever we go, and he'll fight for us. He has 3 stats, and the first one that is a symbol of the sword. That is your combat stat. That determines how much damage he will do to an enemy. Obviously, the higher the number, the better. The second one there, that shield, that is armor. That determines how much damage he can take before he dies. In this case, he's only got a little too, and just ignore him. They'll say random things, especially when you're standing still. The higher the number, the better. That third one is one that we really want to pay attention to. That is called the Seek skill, and that comes into play in many different ways when you're dealing with sidekicks. It determines on whether or not they can be thrown through sidekick doors, like you see in the distance back there, or whether or not that they can detect hidden objects, things of that nature. So we're going to go over here to this sidekick door, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So we're going to get close. And you just heard him get all excited, and he says, "Toss me through that door," because he recognized that there was a door there, and he can get tossed through it. So right now, we don't have this door set up to anything special, but I just wanted to give you a demonstration of these doors. So we're going to toss him. You're going to hear some sound effects, like right now, apparently he got into a fight with a dog, and he gets popped back out, and now the door is deactivated. I left that just as a generic door, just so I can show you an example of what happens. Alright, so we have another door over here, and we're going to go under its properties. Now, if you look right here, it says, well, let's go in order. First thing says, remove townsperson on entry. This tells the door that once you toss a townsperson in, it will either spit them back out, or it will toss them out of the game. It will remove them from the game. So if you have this set to on, once you toss your townsperson in, bye-bye, they're gone. They'll be removed from the game. We're going to leave that to off. Disable door after use. This is if you toss through, like we just did a few seconds ago. Toss your sidekick through the door, and once he's done and he comes back out and whatever you have the door set to do happens, the door then becomes deactivated and it can no longer be used again. Now this is where the Seek ability comes in. This is called the detection level, and depending on what you have the set at will depend on if your sidekick can even enter the door. So if you remember, his Seek skill was 3, so we're going to set this to 4, and I'm going to show you what happens. The next item we have here is called normal response chance, and what that does is that determines whether or not you get the normal response chance. And the normal response chance stands for Like, let's say you have the door attached to treasure, and you want, after you toss your sidekick in, to when they come back out, you want them to find some treasure. Well, the higher the response chance, the normal response chance, the more likelihood they are going to find that treasure. Explosive chance. Now, explosive chance, that's by default set to 0, and what that does is if you toss your character through the door and you have that set too high, there's a chance that when they come out, instead of finding a treasure, the door will blow up and they'll get shot out. So it's a little fun. It's kind of like, you can make the doors a little bit random. Alright, so we're going to set the detection level to 4, and we're going to leave everything else alone just so I can show you what will happen if we get close to the door now. Now, if we get close to this door, you can see you get a little warning at the top of the screen saying your sidekick seek ability is not high enough, and he will tell you, I can't go in there, I'm not equipped for it. So the door won't even activate, it won't even highlight, you can't even pick him up and toss him in. So there's a way to fix that. In the game, there is something called a sidekick outfitter, and if we go over here and we use it, we will get an inventory brought up that shows us our sidekick's inventory, and we have at the top you're displayed the stats. That's what your character is by default with no what he currently is with no armor or weapons, and now you have 2 pieces of armor and a weapon. So we got a helmet, we got a chest piece, and we got a weapon. So for example, let's go in here and let's just grab this professional gray stripe helmet. You'll see that it gives you 1 armor and 2 seek ability. You can scroll through these and pick out whichever ones you want, and just like the sidekicks themselves, these are unlocked by playing the dungeon crawler type toy box games that are available. You'll unlock more and more armor sets, but we're just going to go with, we're just going to do, where was that? We're just going to do this professional gray stripe helm, and it's going to give us a 2 to our seek ability. And as you see, now he is a 4-3-5. We scroll down, we have body armor, and again, the same deal, each one has different stats to it. Let's see if we can find something pretty good here. We will do, you know what, we're going to just leave his armor alone for now. We're not going to add anything else. And we're just going to hit apply, and we're going to back out. So we're just going to give him a helmet, just so he is smart enough to find this door. So we're going to come back over to the door, and now watch what happens. Now the door activates, and he says, help me through that door, and he'll come here and he'll do the little happy dance. Now his seek skill is equal to or greater than what the door detection level was set at. So now we're going to, let's go over our response chance. Or actually, you know what, before we do that, let's show you what else you can do with these doors. We're going to do a new logic connection from this thing. And the options that you get are door reset, door activated, door deactivated, townsperson thrown in, normal spawns return, and explosive spawns return. Now, here's what we can do with those. Townsperson thrown in is pretty self-explanatory. When you throw that townsperson in, or sidekick, whatever, when that happens, you can trigger another logic connection. Door activated, when we got close and the door got activated, as you see it is now, you can set another logic connection, so you can fire off a different type of logic toy, like maybe say a text generator or something. Door deactivated, after you were done with the door, you can also attach it to other logic toys. Now, normal response returned. What that stands for is what happens if you throw the townsperson in or the sidekick in. Let's say you want this door to spawn a treasure. Well, the normal response is going to be that treasure. That's basically, the normal response stands for what you want to actually have happen, the good response that you want from the door. Explosive return is what would happen if the door exploded. If you set the properties of the door for the and give the door a high chance to explode, the door will explode, it'll pop your little sidekick back out, and then you can attach that to another logic connection to make something happen. Like, say, for example, a good way to do that would be if the door explodes, you spawn a enemy. So what we're going to do is we're going to do normal spawns return, and we are going to highlight the treasure chest here. We're going to tell it to spawn loot. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the properties of this, and we're going to configure the loot. The properties are auto reset. We're going to leave that off, so once you empty the chest, it's no longer used. We don't need to. We can ignore the auto reset timer since we're going to leave auto reset off, and we're going to leave auto collect off. We'll actually have to physically walk over the item that spawns. And now we're going to go into configure loot, and this is where you can decide what you're going to spawn for your, when the townsperson or the sidekick is tossed into the door. We don't have any. We don't have a loot table set up. I'll save that for a whole another tutorial because we have loot managers, inventory managers, currency managers. Now there's a lot to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a power capsule. No big deal. Something easy. And now when he gets tossed in there, that should spawn. You can take this one step further, and instead of just having the treasure chest next to the door, you can also connect these treasure chests to locators, and I went the wrong direction. Let's see, if we bring up Creativitoys here, and all we need is a locator. We'll scroll on over here, we'll grab ourselves a locator, and we'll pop this, say, right in front of the door here. So we can attach a locator to this treasure chest, so when he finds a treasure, you can have it pop out right in front of the door, which would make it look a little bit better, a little bit more natural. And you can hide the treasure chest. So what we'll do is when we toss him through the door, he'll go looking for that treasure. If he finds it, he'll come back out and the treasure will spawn right here. So we'll go back under properties and we'll leave the normal response chance at 5. Again, the higher the number, the better chance he has of finding that item. And we'll leave the explosive response chance at 0. So we'll just show you what happens if he actually succeeds in finding the treasure. So we'll grab him, and again, he'll sit here and dance until the cows come home. Let's toss him in there. And he spawned us a spark capsule. Ta-da! And that's it. That's one way you can use a door. Now, let's go over here, and let's make some adjustments to this door. And again, we left this door default so he's able to easily detect it. What we're going to do is we're going to go in here, and I'm going to show you the difference between what the doors can and cannot do. Let's see. Properties, and we're going to do normal response chance. We're going to leave that at 5, but now we're going to up the explosive chance, and we're going to put that at 5. So basically, the door has a 50-50 shot of either giving you the treasure, the reward, the action you actually want to have happen, or explode in your face. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to leave that on. And we're going to attach it. Well, you know what? We're not even going to attach it to an enemy generator. Let's just grab him and let's just see what happens. You know what? Let's drop this. Yes, I know there's a door there. Thank you very much for telling me. We're also going to go under properties and we are going to take the door. We're going to leave the door active. That way we can show you how this works. Let's toss him in there. Uh-oh. There's another thing to point out. I accidentally tossed him off the cliff. He will come back and act like nothing ever happened. Let's go ahead and aim at the door this time and toss him and see what happens. And there you go. That's a perfect example. He came out and the door exploded. There was a 50-50 shot of that happening or not happening. And again, you can tie that just like we tied the other door to a treasure chest. You could tie this one to an enemy spawner, so when it explodes, we got ourselves a enemy pop out, and we'll have to take care of them. All right, so let's see. We're going to go in here, and we are going to let's see what else can we do. Let's go do some combat, and we'll show you what this little guy can do in combat. Let's go in here. We'll go into our little combat simulator here. Now, here's another difference between sidekicks and town person. If you watch my previous video, you know townspeople will not follow you through a toy box door, whether it be to an interior or to another toy box. By default, they just won't follow you. However, sidekicks, they will follow you, and they will keep whatever equipment you have on them. So, we're in here, just a small little room, and we got a little decoration there, a little claw decoration. What we're going to do is we're going to spawn some enemies, and we're going to show you how he'll fight for us. So let's go ahead and do that. Step on our little pressure plate. And nothing happened. There we go. Wow, he didn't even give that guy a chance. And he shot that guy. Apparently he doesn't care about this guy. Okay. Apparently he's tired. I guess he doesn't want to fight him. But as you can see, he will take a shot at the enemies when they come out. And those were really easy enemies, so he was able to easily blast through them. Now let's change that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and I hit the wrong button. Let's go ahead and change what we got for enemy wave here. Let's configure the wave. Let's delete these guys. And let's add some harder enemies here. Why don't we do a medium frost giant? We'll do 3 of those guys. Okay? And now we'll go ahead and we'll respawn them and we'll see what he does. Now, as you can see, he's not as equipped to handle these guys. Apparently neither am I. And they're and you see, he'll continue thinking they will go after him. He is on my team, so they will go after him. And they're down, and you got to see my combat skills or lack thereof. And as you see, compared to the small frost giants, he could one-shot them. For these guys, he had to take quite a few shots to help out. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you how we can change that. And maybe, let's see if we have we might not have the sidekick. Do we have a sidekick? Ooh, we do not have, in the interior, we do not have the sidekick equipper. Okay, we are going to have to come out and come back in. Sorry about that, I did not realize I would do that. Let's get out of here. Wanted to demonstrate the difference between equipping him with the default weapon and giving him a better weapon. And I failed epically at it. I thought for sure that they had the Sidekick spawner in there. Apparently not. It's good to know. If you're making an interior, make sure you have something out here. Alright, so let's bring this guy back with us. What are you doing? Hello? Hopefully he'll teleport over to us here in a second. Then again, maybe he won't. Alright. He normally would follow you back out the door. I do not know why he no longer followed me out of the door, and why in the world did the sky change? I am not sure, but that's interesting. Let's go over here and equip him with a better weapon, and we'll see what happens when we go into the combat next time. Alright, so let's go down here. Let's really deck him out. Let's get some new armor. We'll do another chest plate, and let's give him something that will up his combat ability. And we have 3 right there. Let's do this one. We'll do this ricochet disc. Oh, we got something even better. Strong ricochet disc. Let's do that. So now he's at a 12, so now he should really be able to handle those frost giants. And we don't want to go in there, so come follow me. You've already caused me enough grief. Get over here. Alright. Let's go back in here. I apologize for the second loading screen. Sorry about that. I thought for sure you could put a Sidekick equip button in the interior. Apparently you cannot. We're learning together. What do you know? And we're back, and he followed us in like he should, and you can see he's got all of his new armor and weapons equipped. So let's respawn them and let's see what happens. Apparently he's going to stand there. Okay, let's get him fighting. There he goes. Save me, Sidekick! Wow!
Foolhardy move indeed.
He teleported. Look, he saved me. Save me, Sidekick. Save me. He's probably a fatty, but he is doing more damage. If I die, I'm dead. There you go. There's a good example. Now you see that he actually is able to take that guy down. Sidekick, we need to go back to training school. This was really bad. That's okay. Maybe it's more entertaining that way. And you know what? I can fix our health, so let's go back out. Got a few more things to show you about sidekicks anyway. And during one of our demonstrations, we'll get our health back. But as you can see, we equipped him with stronger weapons, and he was able to do more damage to those ice giants. We might have wanted to tone that down a little bit, but that's okay. Okay, now here's something else I want to point out about our sidekicks here. And he glitched again. He should have followed me. I don't know why he did. But here's something I want to show you. We're going to use the pitch black sky here. And as you can see, it really makes things nice and dark. But it really makes the stuff that's lit stand out. If you notice something, we're going to go way over here where there's not much light source. Our sidekick, he's basically a walking flashlight. They have their own little light source that you can use for exploration. Like for example, I bring this out, you can see it adds a little bit more light. Yeah, it's quite a bit of light to your game. So keep that in mind when you're designing levels for using sidekicks. You can make really dark levels, and it might add really to the atmosphere. And he's getting a little bored here. He's like, what are we doing? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. We'll leave it dark like this because I think it looks pretty cool. And we're going to show you one more trick that we can do with sidekicks. If you've already played the Escape from Killing, you'll know that sometimes when you are walking around the level, he'll randomly just sit there and say, hey, over here, I found something. And you walk over there and a health capsule will appear. Well, we can sort of recreate that ourselves. And here's how we're going to do that. We need 4 items. We need a trigger area, a target locator, and a text creator, and a object generator. And we can simulate the same type of deal. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to highlight this object generator. You'll find this under Creativitoys. And we're going to do properties. We're going to leave auto spawn off, and auto spawn frequency you can just leave at default if you're not using auto spawn. And we're going to do new logic connection. New locator connection, and we're going to connect it to a locator. So we can control where the object gets spawned. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a connection from our text creator. I already went into the properties and saved you the pain of watching me type something in and put down as the text line 1, I found something. We're going to do textile banner. You could also attach it to your sidekick. I'm going to do banner since it's dark out so you can see a little better. And we'll just leave the duration at 2. So what we're going to do is a new logic connection from our text creator, and we're going to do specific line dismissed, text line 1, and we're going to connect it to our object generator, and we're going to tell it we want it to do item, and we'll do health capsule. And now we need to actually use a trigger area to start this whole logic connection. So we're going to do new logic connection, entered, player, any, and we're going to target our text creator, and we're going to tell it display text 1. So now when we walk into the trigger area, it starts the text. Once the text is done, it will trigger the object generator, and that will spawn us a health capsule. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this into our trigger area. So it looks like when we walked in there, he found something. So now you can use this not only with sidekicks, you can use this with townspeople. It can make for a fun game of hide and seek. And I'll show you. I found something. And boom, he found himself a health capsule that we desperately needed because we were really pathetic when we were fighting. And there you have it. that you can use it to spawn collectibles. You can use it to spawn as you saw, the health capsule, and you can turn this into a really creative game of hide and seek. And again, it works with whether you do sidekicks or townspeople. And honestly, that is pretty much it for this tutorial, I believe. We've covered sidekicks in general, their different stats, that they can be equipped. We showed you the sidekick doors, and we went into the combat simulator and failed miserably, but we still showed you the difference between equipment and not equipment. And then we came out here, showed you that he basically acts like a glowworm or a light bright, and he will give you he's excited, he will give you a light source, and then you can also use him to make it look like you're going on a hide and seek or a scavenger hunt. And that should be it. What now? Well, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to go say goodbye to the people. Say goodbye. Bye! And off he goes. And you can see how dark this pitch black sky really is. And there he comes. He's back. He's a little upset with me, but he's back. And that just gives you an even better example of how much light he actually gives off. Well, I hope this was enjoyable. I hope you learned something. Hope it was helpful to you. And shortly we will have up part 3, which is enemies, and we'll show you their logic, creative ways you can spawn them, and also ways that you can control where they path to using the enemy guide marker. Until then, take care. Bye-bye. And I almost forgot. There was 2 things real quick that I almost forgot to add in this video. One is that you can give your sidekick, just like you can give townspeople, you can give them behavior commands like cheer, dance, etc. And I'll just make a real quick demonstration of that. We're just going to use the trigger area again. Entered, player, and again you can set this up differently if you'd like. You can have it set up so when the AI or team goes in, doesn't really matter. We're going to select our little friend here. We're going to do play once, cheer, and you'll see that he'll do his cheer, and then he will continue to follow us and continue to be our sidekick. See, he does his little cheer, and he'll just come right back to following you. So it does, you know, and you can set this up for just about any type of behavior you want. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, and I think I do this a lot in my videos, and I apologize for that, is that once you do the initial connection to make this this little scavenger hunt thing, this little health capsule appear, another thing you can do is turn it off. So what I mean by that is right now if we walk through this, he'll do his little line, I found something, and then the health capsule will spawn. You can change that so it only happens once. You can turn this off. What you do is you make a logic connection from your object generator, new logic connection generated, and then come over here, and you could use a logic gate, but if you want to save your logic gates for more complex setups, you can just simply use a time delayer. So just come over to the time delayer and hit start delay, and then come over here. You can just go to new logic connection, delay completed, and then target your trigger area and tell it to deactivate. So basically what happens is once the health capsule spawns, it has a 1-second delay. After that delay is completed, it turns off the trigger area, so you no longer have to worry about keep walking through there. So watch, it should only happen one time now. Found something, the health capsule will spawn, and now when we walk back through there, it will no longer trigger. It is now deactivated. Again, logic gates work good for this, but time delayers, since it only has a 1-second delay, that's another nice way to quickly and easily just deactivate a trigger area, whether it be for this or for any other type of quest or use you're having. If you wanted to deactivate a trigger area, that is a really good way to do it, just using a time delayer. And that was it. I just didn't want to forget these 2 things. Once again, thanks for watching. Hope everything helped. I hope these videos have been helpful, and